Hello everyone, welcome to Fearing Church. This is for Sunday the 30th of January. We're celebrating Candlemas, which is a feast day you've probably not heard of, but it's when Mary and Joseph bring Jesus, who's only 40 days old, into the big temple in Jerusalem to give thanks for the birth of their firstborn son. And that's why we've got these lovely figures here, the crib figures for Fearing, and that's why there's no more wise men, there's no more shepherds. There's just Mary and Joseph and the baby. And because the story focuses on them. And Candlemas, in a sense, marks the end of a whole season that begins with Advent, around the end of November, beginning of December, which is the preparation period for Christmas. Christmas is a big celebration of the birth of Christ. Epiphany is when the non-Jewish nations, the Gentiles, meet with Christ in the persons of the wise men. And then 40 days from Christmas Day is the 2nd of February, which is the official date for Candlemas, when we celebrate this story. And what happens in this story is that Mary and Joseph bring the baby in with their sacrifices, their gifts to give thanks to God. And they're met by two people. They're met by an old man called Simeon, who's probably an old priest, slightly older than me, who has been waiting and praying what is called the redemption of Israel, waiting for the Messiah to come. And he had been given a sense by the Spirit of God that this was the time to come to the temple. And he comes in and he takes the infant Jesus in his arms, which must have been caused a bit of consternation for Mary, and said the words we now know as the Nunc Dimittis: Lord, now let thy servant depart in peace according to thy word, for my eyes have seen thy salvation, which thou hast prepared in the face of all people, to be a light to lighten the Gentiles and the glory of thy people Israel. Finally, after so many years, here was the sign of the light of God coming into the world, who will be the light to the nations, as Simeon calls him. I have a soft spot for Simeon because he's got my name, or I've got his, more importantly. And what I want to focus on is both Simeon and Anna, an old lady who's a prophet, who's been praying in the temple for decades since the death of her husband many years before. She's about 80, which is really old in Old Testament, in New Testament terms. It's how long they've been waiting, how long they've been praying, how long it's been until this moment of fulfillment comes, when both Simeon and then later in the story Anna meet with the Christ child and recognise that this is the Messiah that God has promised. This little child is the light of the world, extraordinarily. Not the child of a king or somebody famous or somebody powerful, but the child of a carpenter from the middle of nowhere and his very young wife. How long have they been praying and waiting? A long time. And we feel this pandemic has been forever, never ending. We're not out of it yet. But it will end, but we've got to keep trying and being patient and persevering and praying. Because we too, even in our imaginations, can hold that light of the world in our arms in the way that Simeon did. And that light will reflect into us and from us and to others. But it takes time and patience and above all prayer and just waiting on God. Just waiting on God as Simeon and Anna did. For God is with us in these dark times, and his light can shine in us if we wait and pray for it. Amen.